반갑습니다. Om Shanti. Peace to you, peace to me. Hello and welcome to another video. I want to talk about breaking habits. Oh, no, don't make me do this. Yes, breaking habits. So, where do our habits come from? It's from habits, doing things on a regular basis. And what happens when we're born and the first 7 years of our lives, we are really like sponges. I mean, amazing sponges, just sucking in information incredibly. And unfortunately, a lot of our habits are formed through that. And also, I was speaking to someone today actually, it comes through the DNA. It's the vibration from your parents. So they have certain habits. It seems to go through the DNA into children. Not as a rule, but it does happen. It's quite incredible to see. So the trait of a mother or a father, or even both, you can see that habit forming in somebody, in their children. It's quite incredible. So it is the conditioning or the programming of our first 7 years. I was horrified to hear today on the radio that there was a lady talking about the school system here in England and how they're going to be pushing climate change to the 4-year-olds. 4-year-olds. And the height of your sponge-like learning process. So they're going to get at the children with climate change. Now, climate changes every minute. No doubt about that. How much we have to do with the problems of global warming, enormous discussion, enormous debate, and yet they're saying the science is settled. Science never settled, ever settled. Science is a continually moving thing, like we are continually moving. And I was just horrified to think, how much programming did I go through in my first 7 years of life? How much did this affect me, and how many bad habits did this actually impose on me? It's a very, very interesting thought, a very, very interesting way of looking at it, that we have to break the conditioning of our subconscious, because this is what's actually bringing our subconscious together. Is those first 7 years is actually bringing you together as a human being to respond or react from your subconscious, your conditioning, your programming. Very, very interesting, because we are all coming from that unless we start to make the effort of the journey inside to raise your vibration, actually looking at it from a 0 point. Ilchili talks about a 0 point position where you see everything from new, from fresh, like a baby's eyes, like a young child's eyes. You're looking at it and going, whoa, okay. And you see other gurus like Sadhguru. He says that everything that he sees is like he's seeing it for the first time. I don't know if you've heard that Black Crowes song, Seeing Things for the First Time. A wonderful song. Really, when I first heard it, I went, yes, I understand what you're talking about. Even though he might not have been talking about spiritual growth, but it is. You see things for the first time. And what's really helped me with that is becoming a body, brain and Qigong instructor. You have to teach, or instruct a class, I should say, like it's the first time that you've done it. So it's that enthusiasm, the joy, the happiness that comes out of you as you're doing it. It's like it is for the first time. And to me, that was like breaking an enormous habit of wanting to fall for my tiredness, or the emotions of feeling, oh, I'm having a really bad day today. I don't want to go and be joyful in front of these people. Breaking that habit of just being able to tap into that energy and go and do that made me more joyful and happy, because I was breaking these habits. So the first 7 years really important, because it's our subconscious being formed. So breaking those habits is very, very difficult, and basically it's repetition. You have to keep repeating to break your habits. I have done that recently with exercise. I trained to become a Dharma Master in 2019 in March, and since then I've had a morning routine of around about an hour of stretching, bowel training. I do qigong, breathing. I do a bit of chanting. For an hour, the first hour of every day, I get up quite early and do that for the first hour of every day, and that's become part of my habit. It's become a habit, it's a routine now that I do, and my goodness, if I don't do it for a day, I really do miss it. So it's a good habit, because I'm finding myself a lot more flexible. My body's a lot lighter and easier to move, and my neck is not as stiff as it used to be. My shoulders are good. I had a motorbike accident when I was a kid, and when it used to get cold, well, I broke my collarbone and fractured my elbow. It used to ache. All that's gone now. I used to have terrible problems with diet, digesting food, and all that's gone now. I used to have this great need for getting as much alcohol down me as I possibly can. I possibly could. All that's gone now. So these habits I've formed now in the mornings have helped me break the habit. Many habits that I had which were bad habits, not good for my health, not good for my well-being or my vitality. So it's really finding the things that you can be passionate about. I've become very passionate about not just my body, but everybody else's body, in the respect that these are absolutely incredible vehicles. These are the most sophisticated pieces of equipment on the planet by a long, long, long way, and we don't even understand how these work yet. In today's technology, we still could not make a human being. Still could not. Even though with all these amazing micro technologies, they can do avatars, yeah, and there's elite people who are building avatars to have their consciousness put into an avatar. Oh goodness me. Yeah, they can do that, but not a human being. It's incredible. We are an incredible piece of equipment, so therefore we need to look after this vehicle. Surely we need to look after this vehicle. It's our bad habits that are usually detrimental to this wonderful vehicle that we all have. It's just your space suit, but you need to look after it. You need to keep it clean and healthy. So this is one of the reasons why we need to change our habits, or break our habits, break the bad habits, is to look after our bodies. And then once you start to look after yourself, you start to look after the environment around you naturally, because you realise this is an amazing experience actually if you want it to be. What you want is what it is. Because really this experience has no meaning. You think, oh, my life has meaning, I am important. Life has no meaning. It's that you put the meaning into your life. It's a very bold statement, but it's difficult to understand, but you put the meaning into it. Really important. And if you have bad habits that are making your life meaningful and not being the best version of yourself that you possibly can be, do you personally think you need to change those habits? What do you think? At first I used to brush that off. Yeah, well, whatever, yeah. Go, yeah. Well, you're one of these new age people or something. I used to brush it off. And then it suddenly struck me. It's like, ding, the chord was done, the anahata, the unheard sound suddenly rang out my heart. Ah, now I know what you're talking about. So breaking bad habits is difficult, but it's mainly repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. The more you do something, the better you get at it. Just imagine, say, for instance, if you wanted to be a singer, yeah? And I had the power to grant you that wish, to make you the biggest singer in the world, and you're packing out audiences and you're selling all these albums and everything's going amazing, and you can't do anything more, you can't go any further with it. What would you have to do? What would you have to do next? And you're still stuck in that preconception of wanting to be that singer. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would jump at the chance of that, but really it's the journey. It's the journey that gets you there. It's the work that you put in. But again, don't put yourself to the grindstone and, oh, I'm gonna work, because it's not really hard work. When you find something you're passionate about, you will break all your other habits very quickly. If you find something you're passionate about and you want to do it, and then you just go and do it, you keep doing it until the next thing that takes your passion, and then you move towards that. So breaking habits is difficult, I understand, but it can be done. So find what you're passionate about, go for it, enjoy your life. Thank you for listening. Sarang Hamida.